All right, great. So if you watch here, you're going to notice, like I said before, this is an application. So once you delete this executable file, this application will no longer run again. So the same thing happens for all these folders you see here. These folders indicate applications that were already installed in my Windows computer. I want to believe that every one of you are familiar with this process. If you check your computer system too, if you're using Windows, you're going to go to your, if you go to your this PC, wherever you are, drive.
It's very important. Take his picture away. Cut this one away. I don't want to see this one too. Cut it away. Familiar with what, sir?
Okay, I had to pause the recording. Okay, no, I've not paused the recording. Let's see. Do we pause the recording pending when we're recording? Good. So I told you from your computer system, you on Windows precisely, you open your C drive, you will be able to see all the folders. You're going to see program files and you see all the programs currently installed on this computer. And I said, if you open one of them, you're going to see a file that ends with .exe. If this is not the same with you, if you're not seeing the file format or extension that ends the file on your Windows computer, click on view. Especially if you're using from Windows 7 through 10 or to 11, you should be able to see, click on view, you see file extensions here. You see the file extension there, check the box, and then you'll be able to see it. So the same thing on your Linux computer, right? Where you will usually store some applications, right? Most of the executable of the applications can always be found where, like I said to you, it's either you find it as /bin, or you're going to find it as /usr/bin, or sometimes you can also find it in /sbin or /usr/sbin. Now, what's the difference? What's the difference? This is just telling you this is where the binaries will be stored. This USR means user, okay? User, the current user, this current user, okay? This current user, this is where the binaries are stored. So go into USR, then go into binary. Now, once you see S, that's for the root account, more or less like the super user, okay? This is for root. There's some applications that can run as a root user, but will not run as a normal user. Does that make sense? Good. So depends on how the configuration is being done. So this is sbin and this is user/sbin. So they're the same thing. So why I did that is, so if you type, what is it called? If I type LL again, you're going to notice that we have some files here. So let's clear the screen and quickly do something. If I go to ls/, what did you see there? Or let me make it obvious so that you all can see let me come down a little bit. LL space. Give me a long listing of the root. That / means the root directory. Okay, root folder. Root is like the super admin. You all know that. So did you notice? It showed me the same thing it's showing me here, but this time around in long listing format. I have explained to you that a file that starts with D, it's a folder, that's directory. And another way to know it is that it's going to have a / beside it. I also explained to you that whenever you see a file starts with a dash, whenever you see a file starts with a dash. Now, but this, once you see the file, once you see it with L, you should know that this is, somebody unmute themselves. Please, can we all mute ourselves to avoid the echoing? Thank you so much, everybody. So this is like a short link, a link that was created. So if you notice, this is linked, the bin folder is linked to user bin. So this is like a link fold. So these two folder, what this thing means here is that this fold, if you go to this folder here, and if you go to this folder here, whatever you see here is what you will see here. Whatever you see here is what you will see here. It's just like on your Windows computer. Did you notice that whenever you install a program on your Windows computer, you will see an arrow in some of the application. So it puts it on the desktop. So that's a shortcut icon to where the original file is. I don't know if that makes sense. If you install an application on Windows, okay, sometimes if you're conversant or if you took note of it during your installation steps, it prompts you telling you, do you want this application? Do you want a shortcut? Do you want it to create a shortcut for you on your desktop? If you check the box during installation, you're going to see the icon displaying here. Some of them may not tell you, you understand? So that's why you see all this icon here that has arrow. You understand? This arrow, this extra short arrow beside it is telling you that is what? A shortcut icon. Now this shortcut is linking to where the file is originally located. You understand? So if you delete this one, it doesn't mean that you've deleted the application itself from the system entirely. The same thing with this one. If you delete this, does not mean that you've deleted it entirely from the PC. Now, the same thing with this one too. So if I want to prove you, so if you right click, hover your cursor on it, do you notice that you can see location there? Location, and in braces, you're going to see the path where you can find the executable file of that particular program. The same thing when you hover your cursor on this, it will give you the location where you will find it. And if you check, you notice C column program files. You understand? That's where you will find those executables. So it's the same thing with Linux here. Did you notice? It's trying to tell you that you may see something here, but whatever you see here, this is original place where it is. Do you understand? So it's just like creating a short link, okay, or a shortcut, as the case might be. I believe you all understand this basics now. Good. Having said this, okay, someone wants to ask a question?
As I run it again, sir.
Okay.
I had the shortcut portion that every icon that has an arrow tells me is a shortcut on the desktop, that the main file is located somewhere else in the system.
Yes.
Am I right?
The Windows PC is located on your C drive, program files. That's where you find it. Program files or program files 86. Do you understand? That's where you find it. On your Windows PC.
Right,
on your Linux, you find it in either of this parts. Either you find it in /bin or /usr/bin, or you find it in /sbin or /usr/sbin. So that's where you find them. For instance, there's an application called or Who Am I? There are all these are binary applications on your PC. So, and if you want to know where it is located, you have to go and check either of these directories. That's what I've been explaining so far. I quickly install an application now called tree, apt install tree, an application. But first of all, now, kindly mute yourself when you join the session, please. Great. Now, I'm going to prove something to you all. Now, this is /bin, right? Let's check that directory. ls/bin, right? If you do ls/bin, you're going to see all these things, right? Now, I press the up arrow key to bring back that command. Now, notice what I'm going to do. I want to search that folder. You see all these results it displayed here. It takes me time to be doing scrolling to see all of them, right? Can we do something better? What if I say I want to search the result? That thing you just displayed now, can we search for it? Right? So I want to redirect that result. You know, when I hit enter, it displays the result on the screen, the output, standard output, right? It displayed it on the screen. You can see it. How about I said, the result, I want you to redirect it, okay? So I'm going to use the pipe symbol, okay? Redirect it into this stage. Now, I cannot do anything I want to do with it, right? So I want to search the results, okay? I want to search for.
Hello, sorry to drag you back. Please, how did you get the pipe symbol?
It's on the keyboard, pipe, just above your enter key, shift, and once you hold down shift, you're going to see it there. It's just above the enter key on the computer.
It's the same button with your backslash shift. Then you click the backslash. This to bring it in.
Okay, thank you.
That's fine.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Of course.
All right, so now watch. There's a command called grep. Does that make sense? Grep. Good. So I want to check for something. Okay, let me make it easier. If I type ls, you can see these files here. Is it not true? Now, how about I say grep, let's search for just anything that starts with script. If I say grep script and I hit enter, normally this will just give you some funny things. Sometimes it delays. Now, ideally, the best way to do this is what I usually do. Sometimes I usually do not like searching using grep on the root directory, or that's the home directory. I usually use it maybe on a particular folder, against a particular folder, or against a particular location, just like we're doing, okay? So we're already in this location. So if okay, let's create a folder, mkdir. No, I don't want to confuse you. Let's use the bin. I'm looking for simpler examples that will make you grasp.
Confuse us. We want the confusion.
All right, so ls bin. So you all know what this command will do, right? ls means list all the files or folders, list everything that is inside this location. Does that make sense? Good. All right. No. Now I want you to search for maybe X and hit enter. Did you notice what we have there? It only displayed the results that start with X in them. Does that make sense to you?
I mean, the result that has X in them.
Exactly, that contains the letter X inside this folder. Is that true? Does this make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Now, how about we say, I want to search for something called where? If I hit enter, there's only one. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If I say if I hit enter, did you see these are all the file applications or the binaries that matches this pattern? Does that make sense to you all?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, I can write a complex pattern if I want to. I can say, if I put something like this and hit enter, what did you see there?
So can you retype?
Did you notice it started with B, but it still displayed the result?
So can you retype what you can I say again what you mean?
This is what I did.
Okay.
What this command means is search for this in this folder. Search for a pattern that starts with either W or H. Do you understand? So if you check, especially W, actually starts with W. So if you notice, as long as that binary has W in it, it will display it. Does that make sense? And because of
Yes, sir.
you task, so you need to be able to learn how to search for something using what we call regular patterns. Understand? Good.
Sir, but my question now is this, can you hear me, sir?
I'm listening.
Okay. I've seen what I want, sir. I've seen what I want, sir.
Okay, you've seen your answer. Great. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
I'm going to press the up arrow key. So let's search for the arrow key. So search for. I'll press Ctrl C and create a folder here. One of the folder is called test. LS. Did you see one of the folder here? Test. Now I'm going to create another folder. Now I'm going to use capital letter. Did you notice there are two folders here? In other words, Linux is case sensitive. Linux is what? Case sensitive. Capital letter T is not small letter t. Does that make sense to everybody? So there are two different things.
Yes.
Okay. So you need to be observant when you are working with it. So
Yeah, no see you. We get class today, no see you for class. What's happen?
Oga, mute your mic.
all right, so guys, let's remember that we're on record. Okay. All right. So having done this, if you watch LS, okay, good. So let's clear the screen. So we'll move on. I'm going to create a folder, okay, and create another folder inside. Okay. Now I will call the name of the folder example, mkdir. I want to create a folder called example. And inside that example folder, I want to create another folder inside it. Does that make sense? Like a subfolder. So let me paint the picture for you so you understand. What do I want to do now? Let's do this. Okay, let's go to desktop. Now on your desktop, I'm going to create it. I already have a folder here. Okay, no. Let's just create a simple folder here. Ctrl-Shift-N to create a simple folder. Okay, I'm going to call the name of the folder what? Example. Did you see? I created a new folder here, example. Okay, now, okay, let's repeat the same thing on, I hit enter here. Are we together? What's happening? Okay, good. LS, you see the folder, right? Good. Now open this folder. Let's create another folder here, Ctrl-Shift-N, and call it sub folder 1. Does that make sense? I open inside this subfolder 1, I open it, create another folder and call it inside subfolder 1. Does that make sense? How do you know if you're in the right folder? Be checking the address here, the address part here. Can you see this here? So on the desktop, there's a folder called example. Inside example is subfolder 1. Inside subfolder 1 is inside folder 1. And that is where we are now. So I'm going to create a file here. I'll just call the file. It's just, hello, It's just a file, a simple hello file. Does that make sense to you? So let's go back to the desktop. So inside this folders, example folder, there's one folder inside. And inside that folder is subfolder 1. And inside this one is inside folder, and there's a file. Does this make sense? So this is subfolders. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So I want to show you a quicker way. Instead of typing mkdir example, I'll now have to watch, see, you saw me when I did mkdir example, right? So I have to move into example and hit enter. You see I'm inside it, right? I'll have to do mkdir and type what? Subfolder 1, and hit enter. I'll have to do cd. If you type ls, you see the only folder there. You have to do cd subfolder 1. You understand? And hit enter. And you have to type, for you to create this inside subfolder 1, you have to do the mkdir again. Please, do you all understand? Is this confusing so far? If you are getting it, just you can put a comment or you can just react with your emoji. I'll understand. Good. But if you're confused, please speak up and I will try to explain. Okay. Now, for me to go back, if I want to go back, like go back to the desktop, like I did here, I'll just type on this place, I'll just type cd without anything. See, I'm back. If I type ls, what you're going to see is example. Are we together? All right, good. Now, I actually expected you all to be practicing alongside. Okay. And remember, you can spin up any of your servers or you use Killer Coder so that you'll be practicing along. Okay, having done this, let me show you the command.
So I have a question, sir.
Okay, I will take your question. I'm coming. Let me finish this. I want to delete this folder now, example folder. Okay, so can somebody tell me the command that we use to delete that folder? Can somebody tell me?
Remove.
Somebody say EAI or RM, what? Go ahead.
You can use rem.
What's your question?
I want to delete this folder here called example.
You
If
can
the
just
example
use,
is a folder, put RM, then space.
Is it RM? Is this what you mean?
RM, not REM. R as a rat, M as a movement, RM. Then shift,
Shift.
then dash, then space, not a shift. No. Space.
You say shift.
Then dash,
Dash.
capital R.
Okay. Capital R.
Capital R, not R, capital R. Then space.
Okay.
Put the name of the folder.
Okay.
Name of the folder.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. Does everybody understand? Does everybody understand what's going on? In case at any point, remember the logic. If at any point you're confused, you can just come here and say, what is RM? Did you see that? What is RM? RM is used to remove files or what? Directories. Does that make sense to you all? Directories is also called folders. Okay, good. So that's how to get familiar with what's happening in Linux. Okay, good. So if you pass RM, there are other flags. Okay, there are other flags you need to be able to. So some of them is -R, some of them is capital letter R, and the rest of them like that. If you want to see more of them, if you want to see more of those flags, just type RM and either put -help or -help. If I put RM-help, you say it doesn't work. It's asking me to use, it said I should try what? -help. So if I come here and say RM space -help, did you notice it shows me a lot of results? Okay, so you can read it -D to remove empty directories and dash. This is small r, this is big R. Are we together? Is the way I understand. Okay, so let me quickly move on. So if we have our example folder there, I will delete rm-r. All right, so I just muted you all. So then the name of the folder, right? So let's hit enter. Now this capital R means recursive, which another way of saying including everything inside subdirectories, in case you're confused. RM is enough to remove anything, okay? But once you put this capital letter R, it means including everything that is inside recursively, okay? Just keep going down. No matter if the number of subdirectories you have, go down. So if I type ls, did you notice we didn't have example folder here anymore? Does that make all right, so all right, so now let me create that folder mkdir, right? Now if we want to create a folder, okay, example, inside that example folder I want a subfolder. Inside that subfolder I want another folder called inside subfolder. Let me expand this so that you can see it clearly. Are we together? Slash. Then the name of the file. Does that make sense? Slash hello.txt. Do we understand what's happening?
So you want the text to be inside subfolder.
Inside
All of them will
subfolder.
be inside the subfolder and last at the examples.
But before I try to add, but do we understand what's happening here? Just so far from what we did in the GUI, do you all understand what we did here?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So now the question is, I'm asking you guys, will this work? If I hit enter now, will this work? Will this be able to create this example folder? And inside the example folder, will it be able to create a subfolder? And inside the subfolder one, will it create the inside subfolder? Then this one, you saw the way we created them manually, isn't that true? So will this work?
Yes.
So will this work? Okay, let's enter.
To execute now.
Okay, txt and hit enter. So see, did you see the error? Let me show you in case you're not seeing it. Cannot create a directory. Okay, so what do we do? Can somebody come up with options? Can somebody come up?
I think that you're not that this slash you used in between the example and this. I think that should not come in. I'm not too sure.
So you're saying we should remove the slash?
Yes, and give space.
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 Like
I'm not too sure.
you say I'm not too sure.
If you, Mr. Chiba, if you do it like
Did you
that,
notice?
it's like
It didn't show us any error.
it didn't show. But what is going to happen is that, like, it's just like you're creating like about different folders with that name. Hello.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. That's the smart response. So
Yeah, you're creating like how many folders? 1, 2, 3, 4. About 3 or 4 folders.
beautiful. It's saying this hello txt as a folder. So if we type ls now, did you see what we have here? Inside folder, you see, how do we know that this guy is a folder? Type ll. Did you see it starts with D? And do you see there's a slash in it? Does that make sense? So let's quickly delete those folders so that we can run the command again. So is it rmdir, right? To remove a folder, right? So example, ls, example is gone, right? So do you notice I'm deleting a folder, just a folder, and I said rmdir. Okay, I didn't just use rm, I use rmdir. Okay, remove directory. So I want to remove inside. I want to remove hello. So if I type ls, you see they're no longer there. So I want to remove subfolder space. I also want to remove, yeah, and that's all I want to remove. So if I type ls, you see they're no longer there. Now let me just quickly save time. Oh, somebody else wanted to help us. So somebody wants to tell us what to do? Okay, so I will just quickly do it now, but I want you to notice something. As long as there is a file here, if you want this thing to be a file, you will not use mkdir because mkdir will only create a folder. Take note of that. Mkdir will take everything here to be a folder. This hello.txt will not be a folder. It can only be a file. Does that make sense? If you want to create a file, what do we use? We use touch instead of what? dir, instead of mkdir. Do you all remember? So if I hit enter now, what did you see there? Touch is telling you that this folder does not exist because we've not created it yet. Now, if I pass help, can we use, okay, it won't work. Now, the flag I would have used doesn't work with touch. Now, let me quickly show you what I want to do to create that. Now, the way to solve this problem is this. First thing you need to do to solve this problem is this. You will have to create the folder before you create the text file. So remove this thing, hello.txt. So you want to create this folder, example, subfolder, and this. So for you to do that, you see this mkdir, you need to pass a flag. Either you put it here at the ending or in the beginning. So you need to put -p. Okay. So either you put it there or you come here after the mkdir, you put -p. Did you see that? Then the name of the subdirectories. If I hit enter now, did you see it worked? So I want
What does the P do?
The P is what allows it to create those folders after the slash as subdirectories.
Does the P mean people or what? As other people?
I don't want to say press, but let's find out, please. Hold on, mkdir -- help. -p is parents, okay? So in other words, it sees this guy as the parent of this one and sees this one as the parent of this one. You understand? Does that make sense? See it here. Do we understand?
Yes.
All right, beautiful. So now when we type ls, did you notice it's only one folder we are seeing? Example. Does that make sense to you all? So it's only one we are saying. So if you cd into example,